So why is Marvels Drax have an impact on the autism community? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss that and find out. Whew, it's going to be a good one. Hey guys, welcome back to TheAspieWorld. My name is Dan. I have autism, ADHD, OCD, and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on this type of content. So if you're new around here and you'd like to learn more, remember to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell. And if you're watching over on Facebook, be sure to give this page a like and a follow to see more videos just like this one. Boom, boom, boom. Alright guys, awesome. So, before I go into the video, I'd just like to read out questions that you guys have asked me over on Instagram, and if you'd like me to read out your question, head over to my Instagram, give me a follow and turn the notifications on because I put exclusive content on Instagram only. And also, if you are wanting to reach out to me, you can always reach me on the DMs on Instagram. Super dope. Okay, so this question is from squashua _, and they said, do you focus on one hobby or have multiple? I actually have a bunch of ones that go on at any one time, and they're not really hobbies, they're kind of like more obsessions. So I get obsessed with like data analysis, then I get obsessed with like chemistry, then I'll get obsessed with like maybe space or something, then I'll get obsessed with like computing or desk setups. So there's different things, but I have ongoing ones like conspiracy theories, which I did do a video on, so I'll try and leave that in a link in the description below so you can check that out. It's really cool, talk about aliens and stuff. Okay, so this one comes from Molly B7886, and they said, if you had to see in one color only for the rest of your life, which would it be and why? Goodness me, I guess it would just be like in one color. I think it would just be like sepia, like gray, like, you know, like that's like an old school TV, like a black and white TV, because I think that's just a more calming color and you can make things out easier, you know what I mean? I think that's what I do. Anyway, I don't know. What a weird question. And like I said, guys, if you want me to read out your question or you want to be part of the family and check out my exclusive content over on Instagram, please do that right now over on Instagram. And if you want to support this channel and you want to like just, I want to support Dan and watch his secret vlog, you can head over to Patreon or click the join button below this video and join the exclusive squad of super awesome people who are supporting me in this project and moving forward, because it absolutely means the world to me and it helps me like you would never believe. So yeah, if you want to support me, you can either go on Patreon or you can hit that join button below. Actually, on Patreon, we have exclusive courses on, you know, just autism related stuff, like how to turn your interest into a career, how to deal with daily life, all that kind of jazz. Right then, guys, we're talking about Marvels Drax. Now, this came up as a really interesting concept, right? So up until now, movies haven't really showed anybody on the autism spectrum since Rain Man, right? You had Rain Man, and it was kind of like, okay, well, it's a big Hollywood movie, and he's talking about autism, but he's actually a savant, and he's talking about savantism, and I speak about this in a bunch of different videos when I reference Rain Man. Now, I actually saw the Guardians of the Galaxy movie when it came out in the theaters, and then I found them just amazing, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now, one thing I did notice is that Drax had some very common Asperger characteristics, and we're going to go through those in a minute. And then I also read a bit online about a young boy who is on the spectrum, and he went to the movies with his mum and dad, and he watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he said, hey, Drax is just like me, you know, because he's like that. And that was just such a nice thing to hear, you know. It was such a nice thing to hear that I felt like, wow, you know, Drax really does, you know, come off as being on a spectrum. So then I sat down and I watched it again, because I was doing like a movie thing where I was watching like Marvel movies, and so I watched Ant-Man, and then we watched Guardians of the Galaxy because it's super funny and the music is like absolutely just awesome, like 80s pop classics. Just, man, like smash those bad boys on, get a cassette player out, pair of headphones, and you like wish yourself back to the 80s, going around a mall, you know, getting a slice of pizza and a bagel. Anyway, enough of nostalgia. The things that really stand out, and I'm going to go through them right now. Okay, so Drax was one of the most interesting things, I think. He has an obsession. He wants to get revenge for the people who killed his family, which is fine, but he is so obsessed with it that he's almost like blinkered, like nothing else matters. Now, if you don't know anything about autism, you'll know that when somebody is fixated on something and they're on the spectrum, then nothing else matters, and just that thing is going to be completed. I remember once I was looking for Austin Powers action figures, and I was in Portsmouth in England, where my family are from, and so I was down there, and my parents were trying to do some other stuff, and I was like, I've got to find these action figures because I need to finish this collection, because, well, you get it, you know, the whole collection thing. Anyway, so I was like definitely on a mission, and my parents like, you know, he's on a mission, he needs to get these action figures and complete that. And it was quite interesting because, like, That is exactly what I was doing. I was on like a hardcore mission just to try and find those action figures. But Drax is exactly like that. He is completely oblivious to anything else going on around. He just wants to get his job done, and he's kind of focused on that, almost like he's spaced out from the outside world of what's going on, or the universe around him, which is very, very common with people on the autism spectrum. Super interesting. Now, this other one is a scene in the first movie where I think it's there's like an evil person or Star-Lord. Somebody says that they do this gesture, like they're going to cut their neck, right? Which is kind of metaphorical, and so he doesn't get metaphors. It kind of like just go over his head, so to speak. And so when they say, "Oh, that went over your head," and he's like, "Nothing goes over my head. I will catch that." And they're like, "No. I mean, like it's gone over your head. You didn't get it." And he's like, "What is putting your finger line across your throat?" Like he questions everything literally and takes it very, very literally. Now, anybody who knows anybody on the spectrum will know that people on the spectrum take things literally, and they have a bad time with sarcasm and metaphors, because taking things literally, you see it as it is. You know, it's very difficult to decipher unless you've had someone explain it to you in the past. But obviously Drax, in this instance, hadn't had anybody explain that to him, and so he was just like, "What is finger running across the throat? And like, what is this? You know, what is going on? What is going over my head? Nothing go over my head. I'd catch it." You know, and that's very, very, very interesting. Now, another one is that Drax is very, very hardcore into he knows what he is and what he isn't. So in one of them, in one of the scenes, they call him like a princess, right? And then he says like, "I am not a princess." Like he thinks they're like being totally serious, and he's like, "I'm not a princess." And then there's something else that they call him. I think they call him like, oh, a thesaurus. They call him a thesaurus. They say like, "Oh, Drax is a walking thesaurus," and he goes, "I'm not a thesaurus." Regardless if he even knows what the word means, he just knows that he isn't one, so he's going to correct you and tell you that this is what I'm not, you know? And it's kind of funny because nobody ever really talks about the fact that Drax is on the spectrum. You know, none of the directors talk about it, like, but and it's there in the fan kind of era on the blogs and stuff, you know, ever since the movies came out. People do talk about it, but nobody's ever openly said it. But what I think is nice about it is that when you look at Hollywood, you know, up until now we had like Rain Man, which is like, okay, well, Rain Man's a savant, for instance. He's not really, you know, a typical autistic person. He's got quite severe needs, and he's not like, you know, it's hard for him to relate to younger people because, you know, he's not like what you'd call like an Aspergers syndrome diagnosis. He's more like quite a severe, you know, needs person. But when you have someone like Drax, who's quite kind of funny, kind of charismatic, but he's also very strong and big and muscly, but he can relate to kids who are on the spectrum in Hollywood, that is super cool because it kind of like it takes it away from being a negative thing, but being more of a positive thing, and it shows positive autism in a really good light and a very diverse light. Like Guardians of the Galaxy have done a really good job at making Drax more like a relative character for autism, who is definitely reaching out to kids and making it more diverse, because one, he's an alien, you know, two, he's a Marvel superhero, which is cool for the autism thing. I think it's super, super cool, and he's dead strong, and you know, and he's really funny, so I think it's a cool thing. Now, Hollywood is trying to introduce more autism into things. So there's somebody who I know who's just been the first autistic actress, playing an autistic person in a TV series. And then also you have things like Atypical on Netflix, which I helped out with some consultation with them on the character Sam, who has autism in that show. And you know, there's little bits coming into like mainstream right now, which is super awesome. But stuff like I really like to see was when they re-released the Power Rangers, and the Blue Ranger was on the spectrum, and you don't really know this, and it comes up in a random part of the movie where like they're dragging something out of the way, and they ask if he's okay, and he says, "Yeah, dude, I'm on the spectrum." It's really cool. It's like it's dead like just blasé that he just says it, and everyone's cool with it. And it's cool because it shows that you can be open with your friends and your family about those things, and you're not going to get judged or persecuted for being on the spectrum, or nobody's going to think down on you, which is great because you want positive role models in good light, like the Power Rangers, you know, like a really cool superhero guy, really strong, you know, fighting off like evil, like, I don't know, creatures from outer space to save the planet, but he's also on the spectrum, and he says that, and the kids can relate to that, you know. And I love he's a man of color as well, which is just fantastic. It was awesome. It was great. I really love the Power Rangers movie because of that, because I really think that they did themselves a really good job putting in such a diverse character, and I love that. So big salute to Power Rangers. And also I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. I mean, who isn't? Like, Power Rangers, Pokemon, Minecraft, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't lie to yourself, okay? Give this video a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. You know it. But if we pass like 1,000 thumbs up on this, I'll be so happy. I'll just like laugh myself to sleep because I'll be like, my fam, you guys know it, you guys know it. So guys, if this video is interesting and you think it can help, please share it on somebody's Facebook page and on Twitter, because it would really help me out. And also give this video a like and leave me a comment down below if you've got anything to add to the Drax conversation in Marvel or any other superheroes you've known who are on the spectrum. I'd love to know, because hey, I might be doing a video on those people. All right guys, I'll see you next time. Peace.